Never been this effing early. I know, you should wake up earlier, man. How to make a Pocketnow Daily video. Jaime Rivera, bad jokes, saying trusted sources in every story leads me to the question of the day. Jaime Rivera, Jaime Rivera, Jaime Rivera. Yeah, try making a video every day, buddy. See how that goes. Jaime, is it me or your jokes are getting terribly better? It's not necessarily just you. My son is helping me out, man. That's right, it's that time of the week. I am Jaime Rivera. This is Pocketnow, and this is the Pocketnow Daily recap for last week. On Monday, the topic was the Galaxy S7 leaks. We saw the first renders of the phone, and I asked you, what did you think about the design that we saw? We had 626 comments. I love the new design. Those curves at the back actually help in holding the phone, and I do agree. I love that on the Note 5, and it would be awesome if it made it to the S7, and I think it will. Her front and back equals less bezel to hold. Could be a bad idea, and I do agree. They fumbled with it with the Galaxy S6 Edge. They fixed it with the Edge Plus. Hopefully they do something about it here as well. I don't really care. I just want the micro SD card slot and longer battery life, and apparently those two things are making it, but it would be cool if the phone looked futuristic, don't you think? Speaking of the Galaxy S7, the rumors on Tuesday had to do with the possibility of no camera bump or a very small one with these new phones. Sort of like what we see with the Galaxy Note 5, where it does house a smaller camera bump because the phone is thicker. I asked you, what do you think about that? Do you mind camera bumps? And we had 579 comments. I didn't find it that bad, and neither did I. I actually consider it to be a good improvement, if any. It's not definitely a deal breaker, but having it there would annoy me knowing that they could have filled it with battery, and I do agree. I would rather they give me a thicker phone with battery life and no camera hump than what they currently do. Camera bump, you ask? I own a Nexus 6P. That kind of stuff doesn't bother me anymore, and dude, right it should. That camera bump is just insane. On Wednesday, the topic was dual cameras. We hear that the iPhone 7 Plus might be getting something like that, and I asked you, what do you think about design changes like these ones? We had 650 comments. Dual cameras on the front, don't mind it, but on the back it is disgusting. It depends on the design and implementation, but I do agree. I've never seen a phone with dual cameras that actually looks good. I wonder how Apple's going to pull that off. Apple taking other companies' ideas and calling it innovation, again, I see, and you know, it's a two-way street. At some point it was Apple innovation, then it was others' innovation, so I really wouldn't consider this a bad thing. In the end, what we want is a functional phone with better, you know, functionality. I actually don't mind if it's implemented in a very smart way. Knowing Apple, they will sell this idea in a way that other manufacturers will copy next year, but forgetting that it was an HTC, or that it was HTC who popularized this on the M8. Okay, HTC launched it on the M8, but it was never really a popular or very functional feature. But it wasn't really because of the dual cameras, it was because of the whole ultra pixel thing. So yeah, I do feel that people will forget about HTC and just say Apple did it. True. Thursday, the news were the LG G5. The company had finally sent teasers and press invitations for the LG G5 day. I asked you, what was on your wish list for this phone? We had 826 comments. I want LG to stick to its roots. Those are very long roots, man. Be more specific. What precisely? Do you want it to keep the G3 design, G4 design? I would love for it to bring back the battery life that we had on the G2 and the camera. But they fixed that with the G4, true. Let's just see about the battery life. LG UI redesign. It needs one badly. I'm sure they'll figure everything else out. True. We've been putting up with this UI for years. The problem is that some people actually like it. I just am not on that list, and I'm sure you aren't too. I hope they improve the battery life on this next LG phone, and I agree. I love the battery life on the G2. I don't really understand why they haven't really been able to figure it out with these new phones, but I think it has a lot to do with the Snapdragon 800. That previous processor was amazing when it came to battery life. I wish Qualcomm would figure that out and help the OEMs. Let's see if the Snapdragon 820 can do that. And then finally, Friday, the topic again was the LG G5. We saw case makers leaking renders of what to expect for the phone. We saw some very odd camera designs, and I asked you, what do you think about this? Do you like it? We had 811 comments. Looks terrible. Hopefully they keep the buttons at the rear. The camera design looked terrible indeed, but I do believe that the buttons are going to move, and that's actually not necessarily a bad thing. Why couldn't they make the camera symmetrical? And I mean the rings. One eye is smaller than the other, and I know. Now you have to remember, case renders are not necessarily the final thing, and that could be a very early prototype. But man, it was ugly. Well, it looks like LG fans will have to skip out this year. I think the V10 was where they should have taken inspiration in terms of design. I don't know, I wasn't really a fan of the LG B10 design, and mainly because of how heavy that phone was. But hey, if that's your opinion, this is mine. I know a lot of people also did not like the buttons at the back, so I do feel that customers do want changes, and it wouldn't be cool if LG just gave you the option. You want buttons at the back? There's this variant, and if you don't, there's another variant. And that's it for the Pocketnow Daily Recap. Thank you very much for watching. If you want your comments to be featured, number 1, keep them short. Number 2, stick to the point. Number 3, try to get some thumbs up. It helps us spot them a lot easier. You can also follow us on social media. Subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. You can follow me on Twitter, Jaime_Rivera on Instagram, and Jaime Rivera. And now you can catch every other video except this one on Vessel at Vessel.com/Pocketnow. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like what you saw. I am Jaime Rivera. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next week.